Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Unlimited Pancakes, where Elliot still hasn't gotten his pancakes, so we've kept the name of the show Unlimited Pancakes. I'm your host, Fernando Ramirez, aka Master Chef, and with me today is Derek Key, aka Dr. Derek.
Howdy.
And Elliot Nwosu, aka Epic Pleasure.
Yo.
Yeah, and Jonathan, aka Balls to the Wall, is not with us tonight. He's dead. No, he's
in
not.
our hearts.
No, he's
dead.
fighting space pirates.
He's at work.
No, he's not at work. He's fighting space pirates.
Yeah, he's at work.
Look, I had a conversation with him yesterday, and he told
I
me...
just texted him tonight. He's at work.
So he ditched us to work to
Yes.
get money?
Is this making money?
He did just to have a life.
Well, then you don't have a life because you're on this show.
My point exactly.
Terrible. Okay, so it has been a week since the playoffs started. It's now been officially 1 full week since opening weekend, and each series has at least played 2 games. So we're going to go by every series, give our reactions, and just to start off, I think it's safe to say half of the series is already over. I think 4 of them are going to get swept already.
Possibly.
Yeah, so we're going to go one by one and talk about that. So the first series we're going to go with is the Knicks Celtics. They just finished playing Game 3, and it was a disaster for the Celtics. This whole series right now, the Knicks lead 3-0. They have one more game to, call it a sweep and then move on to the second round. What is your reaction? Did you expect this? Did you think it was going to be this easy for the Knicks?
Yeah, I expected this from the Knicks because, look at Celtics team. They lost Rondo. They don't really have a championship contending team. They just have a playoff team, and it's really showing through the series.
What do you think,
I
Elliot?
expected it also. Like with the loss, even if they had Rondo, I think the Knicks would still be doing just as well, regardless. So.
All right. I guess the first thing I want to say about this series, the obvious Achilles heel has been scoring. I've watched the games, and the Celtics have been doing a pretty good job. They play good defense. They make JR and Anthony take ridiculous, volume shots from the outside. They've been making a lot of them, but they've been playing moderate defense. They've been doing their job. The problem is that they can't score. Without Rondo being the general, there's no true scorer anymore. Garnett and Paul are past their prime. They're not what they used to be, and it shows. There was one particular play in this game that I saw where Garnett and Pierce were inside the paint, and they missed very easy inside shots, inside layups, and you could just tell,
They're old.
They're old.
They're old.
And unfortunately, it's showing. And one point I wanted to point out with the Knicks, you mentioned Kenyon Martin, you mentioned the interior court, and you were right, Derek. It's been the huge... Kenyon Martin has played like an absolute beast. What are your thoughts on that?
That's to be expected. There's a reason why Knicks picked him up, even though with their failing health of their big men throughout the season. But Kenyon Martin might be old, but he can still play ball. He does what he needs to do. He's not going to be as explosive as he was earlier in his career. But
Actually, Kenyon Martin has been really explosive. I think,
okay.
I'm actually surprised how explosive he is because, I saw him flying all over the place in Game 2. He was just getting blocks, and then he was, going back in transition and then, making shots and then going back and then getting more blocks. The guy is just on fire. He's like another Birdman. Like crazy.
Plus, he has a lot of tattoos also. So.
What's that got to do with anything?
Birdman has tattoos. Kenny Martin has tattoos. Come on, man.
The J.R. Smith's Birdman.
No, J.R. Smith doesn't have as much tattoos as Kenny
J.R.
Martin.
Smith has a ton of tattoos,
Well,
dude.
True.
That's why he can make some clutch shots.
Yeah.
Sixth man of the year.
Tattoos equal clutch shots.
Yeah, sixth man of the year.
I
Okay.
get a tattoo.
But what do you guys think? There's no more life in this. It's just going to be a
It's
sweep
over.
next to the next round.
Celtics defense won't carry them to winning this series at all because you can't really stop Melo, can't stop JR, and even Felton, Fat Boy Felton as I call him, he's been playing very well as of late. And
Actually, it depending, because with the whole flagrant 2 thing happening with JR, if JR does get suspended for the next game, Celtics might have a chance to maybe win that one. But once JR comes back, they have to play.
So they just extend it for the sake of extending
basically.
it. Yeah.
They have to play 120%, and it's the Knicks have to be 80%. Melo's I don't feel like playing this game or something like that.
And it's unfortunate because I thought this was going to be... We predicted this to be the most interesting series in the East.
No, I didn't expect this.
Well, I thought it was going to be... You thought the Bucks and the Heat would be, I think, the most interesting. Just to see the domination of the Heat.
domination of the Heat.
But this Knicks Celtics, they just can't score, and that has been the biggest thing. No scoring. You got to score to win. The Knicks are going to move on.
Exactly.
All right, next series, the Bucks and the Heat.
As to be expected.
As expected.
I mean,
You know, the sad thing is this. The Bucks had a chance to legitimately show that they could at least do something. And I've watched. Ellis and Jennings are terrible together. They just don't work. It's very sloppy. The coaching is sloppy. This team does not belong here, and it shows because I think the last game, Game 3, they had a 10-point lead going into the half. Well, they had a 10-point lead in the beginning of the second half of Game 3. Never once did you feel like the Bucks had any control whatsoever. You know that the Heat were going to come back, and at one point in the game they were just going to spurt into like a 15-20 point run, and that happened. And the Bucks they've never been in it. This Jennings-Ellis project has just been a bust. Who knows what's going to happen with the Bucks? They're going to have to, Jennings and Ellis and Redick are all going to be free agents or restricted free agents. The interim coach might not be there anymore. They had no chance, but I thought they would at least, make it a little bit interesting. But the Heat, they're not even playing at their full potential. They're like, kind of coasting, and it's just one of those series that you're like, oh man, move on, get it over with, kill them already, let's go.
It's because they're waiting for the next contender. Like I said, either they're waiting for the Pacers or they're waiting for the Chicago. So.
Well, no, if since they're the first seed, they would get Chicago or the Nets.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're waiting for Chicago. I'm saying they're waiting for Chicago and then move on from that, then to the Pacers, if the Pacers make it that far.
Yeah, but Brandon Jennings and Monte Ellis, shot selection is terrible. They play too much hero ball. They try to shoot these ridiculous shots. They take ill-advised threes. I hope that, when you break them up as individuals and part of teams, it'll work out better. Maybe I could see maybe Monte Ellis going to a team where he could come off the bench and be a shooter, kind of like a J.R. Smith, I think that would work out.
But he's not really a good shooter, though.
Well,
he's more of a slasher. Like, Monte Ellis is a scoring beast.
Well, Monte Ellis sees himself. Well, actually, he's kind of declined lately in terms of his percentage, his field goal percentage, because he takes ill-advised shots. But the thing is with Ellis, he sees himself as a scorer. He's a scorer. He's known as a scorer.
Yeah.
But that's the thing with scorers. There's that borderline between you're a scorer or you're a complete player. Like Carmelo Anthony is a scorer, but now he's moving towards the line of complete player. Kevin Durant's a scorer. He's moving towards complete. Curry. Ellis falls in that category of scorer, but that's all he's shown. A one-dimensional scorer that doesn't provide anything but points.
He has a lot more of assists this season.
But those assists, I feel like they're a little inflated.
It might be garbage time assists, maybe. I don't know.
Could be.
And I'm not really sure because I didn't watch that many Bucks games this year. So you just kind of went on the box scores, and you would see respectable numbers. But those numbers are lies because I look at this team and the way they're playing, it's just doesn't work. And you can tell when Ellis and Jennings, there's no ball movement. It's just one-on-one basketball.
No, I mean there was a point in the NBA season when I think Ellis went like he won like four straight games with 15 plus assists, and then he like the reports are saying how his coach wants him to be more of a
No, that was Jennings.
Yeah, Jennings. I'm talking about Jennings.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he like Jennings wants to be more of a passer. I don't know if they've gone away from that.
They've gone completely away from that. So,
I mean,
at least from what I saw.
It's just a lack of experience. This is playoffs. And
well, this is not a young team. Keep that in mind. If it was like the Rockets, you could say that point. But it's compiled of veterans, kind of like veterans that have journeymen that have been around the league. So it's not like they haven't had some experience.
But, I mean,
Jennings is still pretty young.
Regardless, it's still no playoff experience, and they have to face King James.
Yeah.
So I mean, they have the shortest end of the stick.
They had no chance to begin with, anyways.
I'll just say this: Larry Sanders. I think he's got a good future.
He does have a good future.
I liked him. He had his moments. There was one really cool dunk that he had where
he stole the ball,
he
right?
Stole the
and
ball,
then he
ran the
dribbled
whole court, and
Yeah.
just slammed it. And I was like, nice.
He had really nice handles for a big man.
I know that surprised the commentators, and I was laughing about that. They're like,
he's
oh my
more
God,
of a
the big man.
defensive player throughout the season,
Mhm.
and for him to actually dribble down the court and dunk it was surprising.
So Heat, they're moving on. You don't think maybe the Bucks,
No.
just
Not
that victory,
not even one game.
Not even
not
one
that
game.
victory game,
No.
just to say they got one.
I'm pretty sure even if you put the bench in, they'll still win.
The
maybe
Heat's
not.
bench?
Yeah, the Heat's
I don't
bench.
know. They're a pretty decent bench. Old, but
Oh,
decent.
but congrats to Ray Allen for breaking the number of threes in a playoff
Oh yeah,
in
that
the playoff games.
that was awesome.
That was congratulations.
I just and also I found it funny. The commentators, whenever he was getting closer and closer to it, oh Reggie Miller, you're gonna lose your record, and it was like, God, you really want him to lose the record, don't you? It was hilarious. So yeah, that's awesome. I always Ray Allen has a beautiful shot. That is just the perfect shot.
I know Curry's
I
looking
think
better
Curry's
though.
better. Yep.
You think
Curry's
Curry?
is looking
Curry's
a lot
is better.
better.
Well,
dude.
Curry's looking better as a scorer, but I still
No,
think
Curry has been said to have the best shot in the NBA, hands down.
As of right now, as of
Yeah.
late.
yeah.
Like it's just beautiful. It's
No,
like,
no, I'm not gonna lie.
That,
That's beautiful. I'm not gonna disagree. It's a beautiful
God.
shot. So, Heat, they're going on.
Yes.
Knicks, they're going on. And I think we could say that for one more. Pacers and Hawks. Paul George, coming out party. He has become, I think, in this series at least, he has proven he's a star. First game, he had a triple-double.
You're right.
Him and Roy Hibbert been dominating. You're just seeing a team, determined to move on to the next round, make sure these Hawks don't do anything to, pester them. And the Hawks have just looked, again, discombobulated. You just see a team that knows that after this season, it's who knows what's going to happen. It's no man's land. A lot of questions about the players, where they're going to go, if they're going to re-sign, how you're going to build. The Hawks are just, who knows what's going to happen with that organization. So right now the Pacers lead the series 2-0. They're going to play tomorrow, Saturday. Seeing just how these two games have gone, do you think the Hawks steal a game, or you say sweep?
sweep.
Pacers
As of
sweep.
right now, sweep.
Yeah.
Pacers sweep.
I think honestly, I'm glad for Paul George that he's gonna recognize. I just hope he doesn't get too big, so it doesn't get to his head. Like
I don't know. He doesn't
think
seem like that kind of player. He
Yeah.
seems like a
you
humble.
never know. You never know. Stardom does a lot of stuff to a player. So
Maybe if he wins a ring. If he actually wins
but
a
if
ring,
he
I
wins a ring,
would.
he deserves it.
Yeah, but even if making to the Western Finals and facing, the Eastern Finals and facing LeBron James, I still
It'll
think
be a test.
he deserves a little big head attitude.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Like I did this. I'm most improved player of the year, and I helped the Pacers go to the Eastern Finals, and that's a great feat, in my opinion.
Yeah. So Pacers sweep.
Sweep.
All right. So I think the first round of the Eastern Conference has played itself pretty well. The 1-2-3s, they're moving on. Now the 4-5 matchup has been a little interesting, but I think the word to describe the series of the Nets and Bulls has just been sloppy. It's been I think to me it's been a very sloppy series because Game 3 is a huge example. Nets go 7. They start off the game really good. I looked at the score, 17-3. I'm like, oh my God, it's gonna be a blowout. All of a sudden, they go 1 for 26 in terms of field goals made in a span of 15 minutes, and that causes the Bulls to come back. And all of a sudden, the Bulls go through a drought in the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter. Then the Nets come back, and all of a sudden, they have a chance to win. But then Marshawn Brooks misses it was C.J. Watson. He misses the shot. And looking at the series, it's been, a lot of defense. Noah has been playing pretty good. I really don't know where the series is going because it just seems like whoever decides to show up is going to be the one that wins.
Exactly. If whoever has a hotter hand in Darrell Williams or Joe Johnson, even though Joe Johnson is coming off an injury off his heel, which is still bothering him throughout even since the end of the regular season.
And that's another thing. This series, and I feel bad saying it, this series is just proving to me that Joe Johnson does not deserve the title of superstar. And he's had that.
Who consider him a superstar?
He's been to a couple of All-Star games. He gets paid max contracts as if he's a superstar. And this is just solidifying a point that a lot of Hawks fans had because that's saying something. When you get rid of a supposed star and you're happy, that says a lot about the player. That you're happy to get rid of Joe Johnson because you feel like he's not a part of it.
He may be a superstar, but then that organization can't afford him, so they're happy to get rid of him to get cheaper and more cost-efficient players.
No, but I'm saying if the player's worth it, you would pay for it.
Not if they're asking for ridiculous amounts like Jace move or...
Would you ever get rid of LeBron?
No, but
Yeah.
but LeBron has proven. I wouldn't
Yeah,
pay max.
He's proven.
I
he's had a
won't
number.
pay max contract for Jay Smith.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That's my point. The way that he's getting paid, because you got to keep that in mind. The Nets paid a hefty contract to Joe Johnson when they were trying to make their own super team.
Well, I mean, at that time he was showing that he could be like that. But once he got to the Nets, his play has been mediocre at times. But there are times where he has shown that he can be a superstar.
I'm saying, yeah, but the definition of a superstar is consistency, and Johnson.
Oh yeah, he has no consistency whatsoever.
1 minute he's like, yeah, Joe Johnson. Then you're like, yeah, Joe Johnson.
It's like, oh come on, Joe Johnson.
Yeah, so I don't know where this is gonna go. I had the Nets at 7. I have no idea.
I think Chicago's going to take it in, because now since they took a game off Brooklyn at home, I think they're going to win. Like maybe in 6, because I'm pretty sure they're going to wait. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're going to win their home games. Because I mean, yeah, you say sloppy, but that's the way Chicago plays. They're a defensive oriented.
So it goes
team.
to their advantage.
Yeah, I think Brooklyn is more like in game 1. They came out, they gave everything. It's the Brooklyn that we're known to see offense. Like everybody's hot. Darren Williams shooting, and then the next 2 games, Chicago turns up the defense and plays and slows Brooklyn down to their style of play.
No, I just saw a lot of inconsistency.
I think they just lost their momentum. I mean,
But 17-3.
Yeah,
like most teams.
I mean, if your backcourt is some streaky shooters like Williams and Joe Johnson, you're gonna mess up your momentum and have some missed field goals that are pretty easy.
Yeah.
So streaky shooters, you gamble with that.
You had the Bulls in 6. Do you stick with that?
Yeah, I still stay with that. I mean, Nets aren't completely out of it. Darren Williams could turn it on anytime.
Yeah.
And
I think that's going to be for the remainder of these games. Whoever shows up is going to win.
exactly.
Because at this point, there's no, like, with the Heat, every time they're coming, the Pacers. But with these 2 teams, it's like, who's going to show up tonight? Whoever shows up, okay, give it to them. So we're just going to have to see who shows up.
Honestly, the Eastern Conference is kind of sad that way, because we all know in the end it doesn't really matter. Like
And when we preview the next rounds, I think the Heat are gonna face the winner of that series. Do you see the Heat losing to the Bulls or the Nets?
No.
I just think Noah would be a problem for the Heat. Well, the Chicago Bulls actually has a track record of playing great defense against the Heat, because they know how to rotate efficiently right after a shot comes off of their own side of the court. So
I think it's gonna be almost like a replica, if it becomes Bulls and Heat, of this Knicks and Celtics, where Bulls are going to play great defense. They're going to stop the Heat, but at one point the Heat are going to score. They're going to will themselves to score. Who's going to will themselves for the Bulls to score?
it's going to be depending on a lot of the Bulls bench, because
Luol Deng has to step up.
This is where Derrick Rose would have made the difference, of course.
I don't think so.
I think it would, because this team with Derrick Rose, I think would have
You
had
think this has a chance to beat
on
the Heat?
on par with the Heat. Yeah,
because their defense is
Their defense is
It's
very
so
solid, and if you have a
yeah.
general like Rose, you have the potential for an upset against the Heat. The Heat aren't the perfect team. They're just better than a lot of the teams, obviously. And you have the best player.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that once all the series are over. So, on to the more interesting, unfortunate conference, the Western Conference. Very exciting games, except for one series. They've all lived up to expectations. So we're going to start with the least exciting one, which has been the Spurs and Lakers. The Spurs right now are currently playing as we're doing this podcast. They're leading 55-42 and it's about to be at halftime. If they win this game, they're going to be 3-0.
When they win this game.
Do you guys see the Lakers stealing the game or sweep?
There's no Kobe. Sweep.
Sweep. Derek, what do you think?
I still give it to Spurs in 5. Like my
You think the
original
Lakers are going to
prediction.
take a game?
They're going to take one game. I feel like they're going to take one game.
Dude, they have some guy called Goldilocks playing for the Lakers.
Yeah, I have never heard of this guy. He's like 14 points, I
think
believe.
Nash and Blake are out. Steve Nash, because he was taking what was it? It's a shot for pregnant women whenever they go into labor.
What?
Because his leg
Epidural?
is epidural shots. He's been taking epidural shots so that he can be able to go out and actually play. This dude is not at all.
Okay, then I give it to Spurs before.
I
mean, if Nash isn't out there,
I think it was the same mistake that when you looked at the Spurs Lakers matchup on paper, it looked like an interesting matchup. But what has the Lakers been all year? Anything but what they look like on paper.
What?
I'm going to say Kobe. There is no Kobe. Honestly, Kobe makes that much of a difference. You guys can't deny that.
I think in this series he would have made it so that maybe they could have won one game.
One game?
Yes.
Okay.
A series with Kobe.
Yes.
With this team?
Yes.
Oh my God, no.
I just feel like even without Kobe, this team on paper should be able to take off one game at least. We shouldn't be all predicting a sweep.
I mean, they're banged up.
It doesn't matter. Dwight's been playing with a torn shoulder
Dwight's
injury.
getting outplayed by Tim Duncan. Old Tim
It's
Duncan.
Timmy.
37-year-old Tim. It doesn't
Duncan,
matter.
no.
You got old Tim Duncan going against a Howard in his prime, and Tim
No.
Duncan's outplaying him?
But like I've said, and I've said all along, Howard is just big and bony and strong. He has
Bony.
no, yeah, like bone as in like he's really
Yeah, I was
muscular.
gonna say, that dude's
Sorry,
got
not
a lot of
bony,
meat.
but he has no post moves whatsoever. I wouldn't. He's a big man, obviously, because that's what he plays. But I wouldn't say anything besides that. He has no. He doesn't have the ability to make the hook shot. He can't bank like Tim does. Like if you put him mid range, what's he gonna do against Tim Duncan?
No, I agree with you on that. I've always agreed. Like Howard to me is not. He's
He
the
has
best.
no
He's the
moves.
best big man because there aren't any
Yeah.
big man. You know, they don't
Yeah,
exist anymore.
There's no good
But they
center.
still use him more for defensive purposes. The more scoring big man is your Gasol. Has actually been stepping up throughout the series.
He's been doing okay. I don't know about stepping up, but
Triple doubles here and there. And
all I'm saying is this: Howard at least makes if you can't play offense, at least make sure Tim Duncan doesn't embarrass you. And Tim Duncan has been he's been outplaying Howard not just on offense but on defense.
He's just a smarter player.
And
the
that's
whole
what,
system is just smarter.
and that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Like you depended for at least maybe to steal a game or two. Howard and Gasol would have had to step up because now you're revolving around these two big men because all your outside players are basically gone. You have no Nash, no Kobe, no Blake. So you two have to step up. I think it was just too much to ask for, and the Spurs just showed their depth. They're ready. All I want in order to just put the just put the nail in the coffin. T-Mac, I want him to dunk on Dwight Howard.
How's he been doing? I haven't even.
He hasn't been on yet.
Oh, really?
No, he
He's
hasn't
just-
been on the court yet.
I still go with if he steps on if he steps foot in that court, the curse is back.
No,
on
it doesn't matter.
second
he
he
was,
steps on-
he was wearing suits the whole time we were playing in the playoffs. And we still lost.
Well, damn, it's a lot stronger than I thought.
No, I'm just. Oh my. No, I'm sorry, ripping on
I don't think so. I think T-Mac's curse will be broken with this team.
No, but he has to step. Oh yeah.
No, but
Did
I
you
want him to
gonna
step.
toss him in like the last game?
No, I want him to step like in the last 6 minutes, and then like he
lose.
gets the ball, it's like oh, and then like I don't know, just
Turn over the ball like 8 times
God,
in his
he's like,
possession.
the curse.
oh god, I don't know. I just want to see him.
I would
I-
pay to see him break down and cry.
That's terrible. God, you are such a horrible human being. Why? He provided you with so much entertainment in Houston.
I hated T-Mac in Houston, dude.
I just feel like Spurs psyched out
Yeah, no, I
most
love
of the
T-Mac.
NBA with their injury reports.
Oh yeah,
I
everybody
feel
was
like they were just
"Oh,
milking the-
Everybody wants to play
Yeah,
the
they're-
the Spurs. Man, no one wants to play the Spurs. It's freaking crazy.
They were just milking the attention of like, oh, Ginobili's injured, Tony Parker might not play well, Kawhi Leonard knee problems, right? I think they're just milking it, and they psyched everybody out.
Psych. Yeah. So Spurs sweeping.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. On to the next series. A very exciting series. The Nuggets and the Warriors. They're also playing right now, and the Nuggets actually have a good lead, 66-54 at halftime.
12-point lead.
12-point lead. Um,
Doesn't mean nothing with Curry on the floor.
Yep.
guys, the Warriors have been shooting godlike. I mean, the numbers that they're putting up in Game 2, they shot 64.6% from the field, 56% from the three-point line. I mean, they have been shooting amazing from the three, which is what's kept them alive in Game 2, and we'll see.
It's their game. The three ball is their game.
And the Nuggets have been showing an inefficiency to defend it. But like anything, if you're going to live and die by the three, the Warriors are going to really depend on that. But if they're going to be shooting like this, then I think, wow,
Yeah. And then Landry now has stepped up or has.
Oh,
a bigger
Carl
role.
Landry, because
Yeah.
David Lee went down. And that was very disappointing. When I saw that after Game 1 and realized what's Mark Jackson going to do, you can go to a Carl Landry who has playoff experience. It's not like it's his first rodeo. And he was amazing for the Houston Rockets, even though we didn't, move on past the first round, McGrady. Landry, he had grit and he, controlled the paint. He was doing some pretty good stuff. I still remember that series, and I wish we would have kept him.
Did we trade him for Kevin Martin? Was that the Kevin Martin trade?
I think he was part of the Kevin Martin
Yeah, he was
trade.
part of the Kevin Martin trade.
You got Curry with a questionable ankle. You were kind of like in a gasp moment when you saw him twist his ankle.
Oh, that looked bad.
And you were afraid that he was not going to be able to come back, and then you thought, okay, done. Looking at the series so far, 2 games done, currently the third game being played. Who do you guys see, taking the series?
I would really love to see the Warriors take it, just because I think Curry's slowly becoming my second favorite player. I mean, they have to keep playing the way they're playing. They have to keep playing the way they played in Game 2.
Yeah.
They have a legitimate chance of taking it.
I'm still going with my prediction. Nuggets at, what was it, 6, I think?
Yeah.
I said.
You got Kenneth Faried come back. Andre Miller's playing
I feel like they should just
Good.
go with McGee more on because his athleticism is really showing throughout the court, and the Nuggets coach, has been utilizing McGee's athleticism. Yeah, I mean,
like the way he puts them like in the right spots.
Exactly.
It's pretty good because McGee doesn't. I don't know.
because
He
he has no basketball IQ at all, in my opinion. He is
like the intelligence to know where to put himself
Yeah,
on the court and
exactly.
stuff
So-
like that. Yeah.
for the coach to actually utilize him and play him efficiently. I'm very proud of that, and they should just stick with that.
I think this is the question that will determine how this series will go as the week, because it's the first week, but this series is far from determined. Do you believe that the Warriors' shooting streak right now, the percentages that they're shooting the ball, do you think that will last in this series to pass them to to get them through the series and beat the Nuggets? Elliot?
I do. Yes, I do. The Warriors, they've always shot well, and I think they can continue to do that. They need to continue to do that to have a shot to shoot lights out like that. So
I feel it was more of, can Nuggets defense step up to stop their shooting? Like, I watched some of the footage of the Warriors shooting streak in Game 2, and that was one of the sloppiest defense rotations I've seen.
Well,
for the
you didn't
Nuggets.
expect defense anyway.
Well, okay. Well, at least I expect a body. I don't expect a free open Curry or a Jared Jack on the three.
Well, to be honest, if somebody guards Curry, he's just gonna like juke the shit out of him.
At least stay in front of him. You can
You can
pat him on the
try.
back and be like, good shot. But stay in front of him. Like,
I'm playing D.
You would waggle it. I'm playing D.
just play D. I mean, I feel like Fareed doesn't add the presence of McGee, and that monstrous block by McGee that was considered goaltending.
Yeah, but McGee's only going to be on the inside, so you need Iguodala and them to step up.
Regardless, like, he's just the presence. I don't know.
Actually, Iguodala will be able to hold Curry, I think, because Iguodala.
Iguodala was holding Curry, but they have Jared Jack, and Ty Lawson can't hold Jared Jack either because.
You just have a lot of shooters. That team is designed around shooters, and the thing
Yeah.
is they're shooting good.
Mhm.
It's not like they're missing their shots. So, all I can say is that from what we've seen, exciting stuff. Playoff basketball at its finest.
in the
But we
West.
can't really determine right now because, it's still going on. It's not like the other series where you just figured it out and it's like, you know what, it's
Yep.
already over. This series is still going. It's probably going to hit 5, 6, 7 games.
Yep.
So it's going to be
Easy.
fun. So we might still be talking about Game 7, next week. So we'll see what happens.
Because the West is more balanced, unlike the East.
Well, the West just got really balanced, but we'll get to that. Next series, Grizzlies and Clippers. Exactly what we thought it was going to be. Randolph.
Not you.
What?
You said Memphis.
I still say Memphis. I'm talking about the series.
It is 2-1. Like the Memphis came home, so
I don't care. Can you stop Chris Paul? I don't think so.
No, but you can't stop Chris Paul. And when you stop Chris Paul, the results happen. Like,
who's gonna stop Chris Paul?
well,
Conley?
they stopped them. They stopped them yesterday.
Because I think the first game at home has something to do with it. So they have to even if they
But still, like the discipline that they had on holding Chris Paul, he had more turnovers than assists that game. He only scored 8 points compared to his monster game in
20.
Game 2 when he did the 4 clutch shots. And honestly, the only reason why Memphis lost that game was because Chris Paul decided to go point God. He decided to go into God mode and make all these ridiculous shots. But the story of this series is in the offensive rebounding, in the rebounding in general. Now, the Grizzlies had this stat in their favor. Coming in, that was going to be the thing that they were going to have the advantage of. In the first game, the Clippers out-rebounded them 47-23. Clippers won. In the second game, 40-38. Clippers won. Grizzlies out-rebounded them 45-33. The games are going to be determined by the rebounds. Whoever rebounds is going to win the games, and they're going to win the series. I feel like they're going to take Game 4. So they'll out-rebound the Grizzlies to get that home court. Like the Grizzlies will they're going to get that home court, getting them, pumped and everything. And I think that Conley and Prince are still going to do a good job again, hold down Chris Paul. And then as the series progresses, Chris Paul, because he is a superstar, is going to have his games. But I honestly believe defense will be enough to prevail in this series. I still have Grizzlies at 7.
Yeah. I honestly, I would rather the Grizzlies go, even though my hate for Tayshaun Prince is pretty. I hate that guy.
Why?
I just never liked Tayshaun Prince ever from Detroit. He has a really weird face. I don't know if I'm the only person that sees that, but
No, I thought he looked like an alien sometimes.
yeah, I do agree with what you're saying. I mean, you would expect you would expect the Grizzlies to rebound with Gasol and Randolph, but I mean, you never know. Chris Paul is a superstar, and he does superstar things.
Derek?
I think Blake Griffin needs to do a better job of holding Randolph. I mean, game 1 and game 2, it was just mostly them two botting each other off and like fighting for rebounds. I think Blake Griffin needs to step up on that part.
Randolph is you're not gonna do, because here's the thing with Randolph can't. Would you stop doing that? God, you're just messing with yourself. Randolph he can't jump, he can't run, but the dude is just good at putting himself in the right spots, and that's what makes him good. There was something like TNT, that the little panel with Charles Barkley and them. There was an interesting thing that Charles Barkley said that I kind of found interesting. Everybody in the league can jump. Athleticism is not missing from the league, but it's the people that are able to know where to be and stuff like that. Those are the ones that are the good ones. Randolph come on, this dude's not gonna. I think I can jump Randolph. Okay, I'm just kidding.
No.
Shut up. But you can say that things like, man, I could jump higher than Randolph. He just looks like he just barely gets off the floor, but he gets the rebounds and he knows where to put himself so that he can
he knows how to body block you.
Exactly, compared to Griffin. I think Griffin is gonna do as much as he can, but if Randolph is gonna be able to will himself and position his body exactly where he wants it to be, there's not much other people are gonna do, because it's not like, well, I can jump higher than you. Dude, well, here's the ball. I got myself in the right spot. Good. Have fun up there. I have the ball. So I think Griffin is, for the kind of player that he is right now, he's still learning. He still has room to grow. But
he's not much, like, I'm going to get hate for this, but he's not much of a player. Chris Paul makes him who he is.
No, look, let me tell you something right now. Say what you will about Griffin. The guy is playing much better than last year. He's better
because
shooting.
of Chris Paul.
No, this dude actually inbounds the ball sometimes. He takes the ball to the hoop. He creates assists. He takes shots from the outside. He makes his own shots. In the rim, he actually had some pretty post moves. He did a couple of shake and bakes on Randolph. Say what you will about Griffin, because of the fact that he's a flash dunker. The guy is a good player.
He's improving. I give him that much. He's improving.
Obviously, that one of the tandems that I've seen them being compared to is a Stockton Malone thing, where those are your two players. No, in terms of your two players, the point guard and the power forward. You have Griffin as the power forward, and you have the elite point guard in Paul. So you're revolving around these two players, and then the other players that you build around those two. You take away Chris Paul and you put a somewhat okay point guard for Griffin.
You think Griffin will still play as well?
Not as good, but he's not going to suck.
But please, nobody compare Stockton and Malone to
I don't know.
Chris Paul and
no,
Griffin.
I'm not.
Yeah, we don't know.
No, because for one, Chris Paul's way is a lot more dynamic than Stockton. Because Stockton, amazing passer. Like
keep in mind though. He is the definition of pure point guard.
Yeah, he's just a pure passing point guard. Like he just passes. Like Chris Paul can create his own shot.
I'm not talking about comparing the players. The idea of a tandem of like a power forward to point guard.
Malone was more of a center than
he was a power forward center.
And Malone was way better than.
Okay, the last series is the Houston Rockets and the Oklahoma City Thunder, and today we just got some very grimace news. As a Rocket player, deep down you're kind of thinking, hey, we have a chance. But the truth is that for the NBA, this is a very sad thing. No one wants to see a superstar caliber player because it dilutes the playoffs. It makes it less fun, I mean, we already have enough injured players. We have Derrick Rose gone, Rajon Rondo gone.
Bynum didn't play a damn game.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like these teams are in the playoffs already.
I don't care. Bynum didn't play a damn game. The amount of money he's getting paid, he didn't play a game.
They're probably going to cut him, actually.
No, there are some articles too that they say they might keep him, but really? I don't know. We'll keep that on the off-season topic.
Yeah. Wait, did he get paid for not playing a single game?
Yes, he got paid like I don't even know how much. It's like double figure, double.
He got paid to like change his hair and stuff like that. So.
And he still looks terrible.
But yeah, Russell Westbrook is gone.
Indefinitely.
Indefinitely, he could come back.
He might miss like one game.
Yeah, I mean he could. Well,
our test had the same surgery.
He came back in
2 weeks.
Days. Yeah,
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
About 2 weeks.
So you could see him come back. That's not impossible. But let's talk about the series first. The first game was a complete disaster. The Thunder had complete control. They showed their experience. The Rockets showed their youth. I was not completely surprised to see this happen because the Rockets are the youngest team in the playoffs, and you knew that there was going to be growing pains. And I remember actually 4 years ago when we went to the playoffs with Artest and Yao, we faced an up-and-coming Trailblazers team. We destroyed them by 40 points. So I kind of was not surprised to see this at all. Without Westbrook now, do you see the Rockets, Game 3 being the very crucial game at home, if the Rockets steal Game 3, do you think that momentum will start pushing towards us maybe saying possible upset?
Why?
Okay, everybody's been saying how they want to see Kevin Durant without Westbrook, and he is going to rip us a new one come Game 3, because we all know he can perform. Like all this talk about, oh, it's Westbrook's team. That's just the grading to Kevin Durant. Like, yeah, they're a tandem. Like I said, I ranked them both second on my list. But Kevin Durant is an amazing player where he can adapt. Like he is going to. I'm sorry. I feel sorry for us. Like our assets are just going to be destroyed. Like
So
I just feel like some of it's double the load is going to be put on Kevin Durant, and he's not going to be used to it. Last season, he had two other players to rely on, Harden and Westbrook. Now this season he only had Westbrook. Now he doesn't have anybody, and this is a playoff series game.
think about it though.
But we're at home.
Durant, he was quoted earlier in the week saying that he's tired of being number 2. He's tired of being. He wants to, he wants to go Hulk
but that's
take over.
Talk. Like,
but he
has the talent to back it up.
I'm not saying he does, but I'm talking about the workload has doubled tremendously on Kevin Durant,
which just means more shots for him, and he's
good. But can't he make it? You had a second option, even though Westbrook wasn't the second option.
Who's going to stop him though? Like we are known for not playing defense.
Yeah, but we can stop him from driving in if he just takes outside shots. Outside shots still has a chance of missing more than driving in.
If he gets hot, he's going to be hot. I honestly,
no. Kevin Durant is streaky, in my opinion. He is very streaky. He can go ice cold at any moment, but he can score. Like nobody can doubt that. But
I don't think it's that he goes ice cold. I think it's that he doesn't choose to shoot. But then again, that's because you had a Westbrook. Because, like, for example, in the fourth quarter of Game 2, he went almost the whole quarter without any points. But I kind of see with Elliott, because the second that Durant said, give me the ball, what did he do? He took a shot, then he passed it up to Cephalosha to make the killer 3, and then he passed, I think he was the one to assist Ibaka to, seal the nail in the coffin. If Durant steps up, like, this is his moment to step up. This is his moment to become the number one option. Well, he was the number one option, I'm sorry. But this is his moment to prove himself, like, without Westbrook, without Harden, he can take a team all the way to the, his goal now, I feel, is to take him to the Western Conference Finals and then get Russell Westbrook back. I do believe, he's athletic. He's a freak of nature. I think Westbrook can come back to the Western Conference Finals, but now Durant has to prove that he can take you 2 rounds
I don't
into
think Durant can take a team.
2 rounds?
So you think we're going to win?
No, I'm just saying we're not. Okay, Kevin Durant's not the only person on the team that can play ball.
Like, yeah, I mean, it's a good team.
Yeah, it's a really good team. It's solid team. But I'm just saying, I don't think Durant can take him.
Like past round 2. Because they would face the winner of the Clippers-Grizzlies series. So do you think, let's just...
Because OKC is lacking in point guard depth. They're going to have Derek Fisher more facilitating the ball.
Well, Derek Fisher's old.
He's old.
Reggie Jackson.
He has experience, that nobody doubts that, but what can he do except shoot a 3 if he's open? I'm just saying, I don't think Durant can take the whole team on his back past the second round.
Okay, well we're kind of steering away a little bit. Let's stick to the Rockets Thunder thing real quick. Without Westbrook, the Rockets, looking at the way it was going to this point, I was honestly going to say sweep. But with Westbrook gone, I believe with a Game 3 win, the Rockets will probably still lose, but I think they might lose in 6. And they might give themselves, because with young teams, you give them a little bit of motivation, and all of a sudden they start believing in themselves. Maybe we could see...
How dare you believe in yourself?
Maybe we could see an upset occur. I say, just because I kind of want to see it, I want to see the Rockets win. I think the upset.
Every Houston Rockets.
Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, let me just put it like this. Okay, I say Thunder in 6.
Thunder in 5. That's if we win Game 3. If we lose Game 3, it's over. There's no chance we're going to win Game 4.
Okay.
Like, none.
Okay.
Because this is the momentum game.
Yeah.
So if we lose this one, it's over.
No, this is a huge game.
I agree with Elliot, but I still say Thunder in 6.
Thunder in 6.
You think we're going to win 2?
It's possible. Like, this is going to be one of those guinea pig games because they don't know how to function without Westbrook. Westbrook has never missed a game since he started playing the NBA, right? So Kevin Durant's going to have to rethink his whole strategy of what to do.
Well, supposedly, and this is kind of there are some people that say that the Thunder would be better without Westbrook. Well, those people got their wish.
That's
Now we're
crap.
going to see a team without Westbrook and see if they're going to function better without
It's
Westbrook.
gonna take some getting used to. It's gonna take one game. I'm pretty sure Game 3 is gonna be in our hands. Like,
Yeah. This team is too disciplined and too good to lose in the first round. You know, I mean, I'm just saying, just because I think now the possibility is not now far out of reach, just because you are missing a guy like Westbrook. You take a guy like Westbrook away, that's, you know, you kind of give yourself a little bit of a window of an upset happening. But this team, I believe, there's too much, there's too strong. But without Westbrook, obviously, everything has gotten much more even, like the
Right.
chances of any team making it to the finals, because now you're depending on Durant to take you to the Western Conference Finals. Week 1, still going on. Still first-round matches going on, but I think half of them are already, we've already agreed, half of them are determined.
Most of them in the East.
The East is pretty much ready, except for whoever shows up between the Nets and the Bulls. The West is a little wide open in seeing who will come up in the next rounds, except for the Spurs. The Spurs are going to move on. So with that, we're going to close out this segment. Hopefully we'll be on next week. We're going to see a couple of already, Eastern Conference matchups set up. We'll see more clarity in the Western first round and maybe start predicting round 2 matches. So any last words before we sign off?
I love Stephen Curry.
How much do you love him?
I give my body.
You give your body to him?
Maybe.
I don't think he would want it.
God, you'd be like, oh, this filthy.
Take me, Stephen Curry.
You're just going to look at these body. Oh, God. Good Lord.
Imperfection.
Imperfections everywhere. Derek?
I just feel bad for Westbrook. It's really sad to see even the opposing team member go down.
Yeah. I mean,
It's just a freak of nature accident. It was just good defense. It was unintentional. It just happens. These things happen.
unintentional.
It was unintentional. It was just you watch the play.
It's what I'm noticing, just real quick. I didn't want to touch the Beverly thing, but I think with the Beverly play, it's what, to his own eye. I saw it as not a dirty play, but other people have seen it as a dirty play.
It wasn't.
The people that think it was a dirty play is Westbrook lovers
Yeah.
or OKC fans.
Yeah. If your star goes down,
Yeah, who are you gonna blame? Of course, the guy who caused it, even though it was unintentional.
All I know is that, man, Beverly's gonna be like, when they go to if they go back to Oklahoma,
Jesus.
Beverly
The
is
boos.
gonna be like
boos.
public enemy number 1, man.
Yeah.
So
I
better
don't
be
know, I
ready
don't
for
think he
that.
did anything wrong, so he shouldn't be psyched out.
Yeah, to his own. So
Yeah.
I guess.
I just want to prepare the Rockets fan, just
I don't know.
All right, how many points do you think Kevin Durant's gonna score?
40 plus. I say
You think 40 plus?
40 plus.
Holy crap!
40
Most
plus.
of his points come from free throw lines too.
Yeah, because
I don't
he's gonna go in and he's gonna get the calls.
We're at home.
He's a superstar.
We're at home.
It doesn't matter though. He's a superstar.
Yeah.
Kobe gets calls everywhere. LeBron gets calls everywhere.
He has a point.
Superstar calls.
I don't like that rule, but whatever.
I mean, it is what it is
I
though.
don't know.
All right, so we can
I don't
see.
know. Just be prepared. You won't.
No, I will say this: it could go 2 ways with Game 3 of the Rockets. Either the Rockets win, and all of a sudden you're thinking, youth movement, or Kevin Durant just goes off.
Just take it a game at a time. It's just we took one game off of OKC. We should.
We haven't taken a game. What are you talking about?
If we win Game 3,
Oh.
calm down. If we win Game 3, it's just one game off
You should
OKC.
just get your body ready to give it a Curry. You better start fixing those imperfections: your teeth, your nose, your eyebrows.
Your
What the
face.
hell is that on your neck?
The hair?
God, it's your neck.
I'm
Filthy,
done with this podcast.
filthy creature. All right, so we'll sign off. See you
I'm
guys.
tired.
Bye.
Retire. Good.